I'll tell you again in the middle so you don't have to lip read me, is I got lots of requests to do, to learn how to use the drill, and a lot of requests about how to put up a shelf. A lot of people who came onto the DIY Doers Facebook group were always asking how to put up a shelf. It's one of the questions that came in. So I thought I'd answer that for free, and I'd show you all how to do it, because I can give you loads of top tips how to do it. But also, a lot of people, you found me through watching the Alan Titchmarsh Spring into Summer, where I showed a lot of people how to make arbors, and I showed people how to use the how to make indoor kitchens and things like that. And about 5,000 people downloaded the worksheets on those, and came through and went through that, downloaded it. And next to the worksheet was the How to Drill Masterclass. And a lot of people going, is that available? And it wasn't available at the time. We'd done it successfully. It had gone really, really well. So what I decided to do is relaunch it again. So I've repackaged it and relaunched it. So it's open. So the idea of this is I'm going to show you how to put up a shelf, give you a load of top tips. I'm still laughing about the fact that you couldn't hear me. Give you a load of top tips. And then if anybody at the end wants extra support with how to use the drill, because they'll see me using it with the shelf, then we'll talk about that course that's available afterwards. Okay, so now I'm going to adjust it back round now again, and we're going to start again with this piece of timber now that you can hear me. So I'm going to drop it down just a little bit. Let's come round here. Aha, so here we are. So for those who, well, all of you couldn't hear, the piano used to be here, and what we want a shelf that runs from this corner to about the center of this picture here. We don't want it running all the way across, because my wife has got a lamp that's going to go on this side. So we're going to fit just a basic shelf using some brackets. I've got some brackets put together, but we're going to use this piece of timber that I got from a timber yard. Now this timber is just pine, and it's going to be painted. We're probably going to paint it black eventually. So I need to cut it down. At the moment, it's too long. We want it cutting down to about 85 centimeters. And 85 centimeters is from the corner to about here. Okay, so how do you mark out your 90 degree? How do you make sure that when you cut a piece of timber, it's straight? What you do, you get your wood timber saw and you rest it. You rest it against the timber here. And what that does, it gives you a template, because the way the handle is angled, it gives you a template down here for perfect 90 degrees. If you wanted a mitre, like a 45 degree angle, you would twist it to the side on there, and that there would give you a 45 degree angle. So it's good, it's worth knowing that you have a template, you've got a jig, as it were, on your saw. So I've already marked it out. I've marked out, and as you can see there, it's at 90 degrees. So I know when I cut that and follow that line, it's going to be cut down to 85 centimeters. So when people use a saw, I do a lot of courses with people, and I give them the saw. And this is the one bit that they're always a little bit nervous of. And there's some fail-safe ways that your fingers are out the way. And it's a bit like a chef when they cut. You know, they get the knuckles out the way, and they use their knuckles as the guide for the knife. And it's the same with the saw. So what you need to do is you need to grab the piece of timber and lift up your knuckles and rest this edge of the saw against your knuckle. So it's your fingers are out the way, but it's your knuckle. Your knuckle is just running against the edge of the saw. And what you do is, so your knuckle's there, the saw blade is on that line that we created, and you just pull back the saw 3 times. So I pull back 1, you can hear it. Do it again. Put it on the groove that I've just cut, then pull back. Do it once more, 3rd time. Pull it back, out the way. And what I'll do is I'll just show you that. So what it's done is created like a little groove into the wood where I want it to go. And now I can move my hands totally out of the way, right? I can move my hands totally out of the way, which means I can then cut. Okay. So my hands are out of the way. I'm just going to go forward. We got rid of that. So what we've done, we safely cut this at a 90-degree angle with my fingers out of the way. So that's number top tip one. If you ever want to use a saw, then you can use it. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of the saw. And what was really interesting, when I was filming on Friday, I was filming BBC Morning Live with Gethin and Oti, and I was doing some work there. And it was the first time I've worked with them, and I showed them that mitre technique on the show, and I could hear in my ear the producers were going, wow, how come we never knew that? And same for Gethin. And what was really interesting as well, they literally, we've been having conversations about other things I can do on the show. And they said more top tips like that. So I knew I wanted to include it with you today. So this is the shelf we're going to use. Just a little bit of sandpaper just to smooth off the edges. Get rid of any sharp bits. Right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move you closer now so that you can see more about the wall and how we drill into the wall. So I'm going to bring you around here. And I'm going to come down here. Okay. Just checking. You can all hear me okay, yeah? Okay. Fabulous. All right, just double checking there. Okay, so I want to attach this shelf onto here. And what we need to do, we need to make sure, let me get all my bits and bobs that I need. So we're going, the shelf is 85 centimeters, which is 85 is there. I want to make sure, I want to come in from the end 15 centimeters. So I'm going to come in, mark the first one at 15. Okay. And then the second one at about 70. Okay. Now, they're not level, they're not straight. I've just marked them as a guide so I can know the distance of what I want. And now I'm going to use, to make sure it's level, I'm going to use a spirit level. Now, a spirit level is this. What it does, it has a bubble inside. And the idea is if the bubble gets in the middle, then it's level. If it's over there, it's not. If it's over there, it's not. And so that's how, if you want a horizontal level, you make sure it's in the middle. You can see the sum on the bottom there as well. And it's the same if you're doing something that's vertical. There's one at the bottom and there's one at the top. You make sure both of those are in line. Yeah. Now, if you don't have a spirit level, you can use your phone. A lot of these smartphones have a spirit level app inside them. So you can literally, download a spirit level app because your phone is calibrated. It's not 100%, but I've been on jobs and I've gone, I haven't got my spirit level with me, and I've used my phone, put it on a shelf and worked it out. So that's one of the top tips you can use if you don't have a spirit level. Another top tip is totally ignore the spirit level. And the reason why I'm saying that is I build a lot of carpentry. I do a lot of wardrobes and I build a lot of shelves and things like that. Generally, you want things to be in line. But a lot of the time, Victorian houses in particular aren't level. They've moved, the fireplaces are slightly off, your picture rails are slightly off. So if, for example, we had a picture rail or like a dado rail that went all the way around here, let's say, this is a dado rail. And that's a fixture that's in the house. It's fireplace, dado rail. It's something that's it's not going to move. It's there. And you're attaching a picture below this in line with this. If you put a picture up and use your spirit level and it was exactly using the spirit level and you thought, well, it's exactly level, but the thing that was right next to it, like this picture or pretend this picture is a dado rail or a picture rail, is slightly off. It's not level. Anything that you attach to the wall will look wrong. So, for example, if you're putting a mirror on top of a fireplace, a mantelpiece, and the mantelpiece is slightly off, but you put the mirror on the wall, fitted on the wall, perfectly spirit level, and you've got end up with like a bit of a wedge between the fireplace top and the mantle and the picture, your mirror will look wrong. So I always, even with private carpentry, I always try and mirror up with whatever's there. So for example, this picture, it's fitted and I know it's level. Yeah, it's perfect. The bubbles in the middle, it's perfectly square. But if it was slightly off, I would make sure this shelf was parallel to the picture, because it would always look wrong. And you'd be laid there, you'd be sitting there watching TV, looking at it going, ugh, someone's put that mirror up wrong. So that's one of the top tips. Sometimes just get rid of the of the spirit level. Okay, so I've marked out 2 marks on here, because that's just the distances where I want to put it. So I'm going to put this on here. I've got the bubble in the middle, and I know it's in line with this because I've checked that, so that's fine. So I'm going to mark there. I'm going to mark there. They're actually, the marks that I made were pretty bang on, actually. So put there and there. I'm going to do a cross, a bigger cross, and a bigger cross. So we've got 2 of our first 2 holes marked up. I'm using these brackets, these metal brackets. They're both the same, and there's 2 holes there. There's 2 holes there. So I'm going to put this one. I can see through the top hole, I can see the cross that I've just made. I'm going to use the spirit level here to make sure that they're vertically in line. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you just a little bit closer. Yeah. So make the spirit level there. It's in line. I'm going to mark this bottom one here. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on this side. There we are. So I now have the 4 holes on here, right? And I'm going to drill into these. Now, one of the questions that I realize a lot of people, I work with a lot of interior designers, and this always happens on particular interior design masters, where we've got the last hour and they're running around going, can you just put up this picture? Can you put these things up? And they don't want to cause any mess. Because nothing worse than, like, you've done all this and there's paint at the bottom, or, you know, you've just finished hoovering and then we're putting up this last picture to cause a load of mess. And I know it's what stops a lot of people from doing DIY. So there's a few tips that we use on the show, and I thought I'd share them with you. So the first one is have your Henry Hoover ready. So have your Henry Hoover ready, so as you're drilling, it can suck it all up. Or you use masking tape and create a little dust hammock. A dust hammock, and I'll do that under here and I'll show you. So get some thick masking tape, and it's a low tack, so it's not going to affect the wall too much. I'm going to put it quite low. I'm going to put it below the 2 holes. Okay, you see I'm creating like a little hammock, a little pocket. It's not stuck all over, it's just underneath. And what it's going to do is when we drill, it will just collect all the dust as it comes out. And also, because it's tacky and sticky, the dust will stick to it naturally. So I'll put that underneath there. On that one, I'm going to use the Hoover on this side. But I just wanted to show you that when it comes to it. Okay, so now we're talking about fixings. This wall, I'm going to knock it. It's a solid brick wall. I know it's a solid brick wall because when I tap on it, it doesn't sound hollow. Solid brick. It's actually the dividing wall between me and my neighbour next door. And I'm going to use a Bosch combination drill. It's called a combination drill because it does 3 different things. It can drill, it can screw drive, and it has a hammer function that goes through masonry. So I want to make sure this one is on hammer function. And how I do that is, there's a picture of a hammer. I put it on gear number 2 because I want it to go fast. I want it to turn around fast. And I'm also going to use a masonry drill bit. Now, when you're drilling and fitting anything into a solid masonry wall, you need to use a wall plug or a roll plug. Roll plug is a bit like Hoover and vacuum. It's just a brand name, but actually it's a wall plug, roll plug. And it's because it's a shelf, it's a medium size. And what's really great is once you've worked out that it's a solid brick wall and that you need a medium-sized plug, if you look on the packet of your plugs, it tells you the size of the screws there, and also it tells you here the size of the drill bit, and it says 7mm drill bit. So I know that on here, this masonry drill bit is 7mm drill bit. So just by working out the size of the wall, the kind of wall I'm using, and the size of the plug, I know what drill bit to use. So I'm going to use, on hammer function, because I'm going through here, 7mm. I'm going to use some goggles, just because of dust particles and stuff. You don't want it coming back on you. Okay. And I need to make sure that I drill further than the depth of the plug. So I know I need to go about there. Let's do this one here. So I'm going to start up here. I'm actually going to stand up a little bit because you want to get the weight behind in your shoulder going forward. So I'm going to go here, go straight. My neighbors are going to love me. But what's great is all the dust came from there and went down and dropped into the hammock. And the idea now is you've just got to be a little bit careful and fold it all in just to hold it all into place. So if I drop it down here, got all the rubbish in the hammock. So it's all collected in there. I'm just going to move that out of the way and just put that in the bin. On this one over here, I'm going to use the Hoover just to collect it all up and be a bit quick about it. So I'm just going to turn the Hoover. It's going to be a bit noisy. I apologise. So there we are, we've drilled the hole for the plug. You can't just put a screw straight into it, because if you put a screw in it, it'll just fall straight back out. So the idea is you drill a hole, then you put in the wall plug, and then you can screw into the wall plug. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put these in. A lot of people have issues with, they drill the hole a little bit too big. And it goes off a little bit and it gets too big. Or if you have a kitchen roll hold, a toilet roll holder, or you've got a curtain tie and the hook's falling out the wall because the plug's gone a bit, the hole's got too big again. One of the top tips that always gets me out of trouble is use a cocktail stick or a match and pack that in around your plug. And what that does, it makes the hole tight again. It's like you're packing it full of timber, little pieces of matchstick or little bits of toothpicks. And then when you come to screw in, the screw has something to bind to, and it means you don't have to re-drill a hole, because it's really hard to drill a hole next to a hole that's already there. And so I guarantee in your house, you've probably got a load of things that have fallen out of walls and you're not sure, I need to reattach it. Just put a load of cocktail sticks or matchsticks in it and then retighten, use the same plug and screw again. Okay, so I'll put this on there. Okay, so now we have the plug inside. Do you hammer in a punch to start off with? I don't. You don't need to. Sometimes if it's slippy, let's say if you were using something on porcelain or something that was particularly slippy, I would put a bit of masking tape to stop the drill bit from slipping. But the way this drill bit is created, it's got like a point to it, a bit of a spade to it. So the trick is if you keep the pressure on when you're doing it going forward, it stops it from slipping anywhere. Hope that answers that question for you. Okay, so now I'm going to swap over. And because I'm putting a screw in, I need to swap the drill bit to a Phillips crosshead drill bit. So just twist this off. Put this in. And I'm just using standard screws for this one. Always try and get screws that have a crosshead on the front rather than the ones that are nice and flat, because they're really tricky. And I'm going to be really honest, whenever I get any door handles or anything, I always change the screws, just because if you're using a drill and it's flat edge, it spins out. It's just more practical to use a crosshead. I don't need the hammer function, so I'm swapping it over to screw. I'm going to attach these. So I put the screw through this first. This in here. Tighten it up. I'm going to get the screw at the bottom. And there. I'm actually going to swap it over for a longer. I'm going to swap over that one for a longer one, just because the way these are designed, there's a bar in the way. So it'll help me with this. So it's worth getting one of those in your kit as well. Put that on there. There we are. That's brought that one in tighter. Okay. And there we are. We have the shelf. So on there, how do you drill into bathroom tiles to fit in self without breaking them? You make sure it's not on hammer function, and you do go slow and steady. So slow and steady is the key. Keep the pressure, and you buy a drill bit that's made for porcelain tiles. Like I say, put a little bit of masking tape on there to help it slipping. Don't use hammer function, because the hammer function hammers forward, and you don't want to break the tiles. Okay. So there we are. We've taught you the shelf. So I've taught you how to use a drill. I've taught you how to use a saw, which you probably didn't expect to learn, to get your fingers out of the way. I've shown you the fixings that you need to fit into solid masonry. I've shown you the hammer function that you need on the drill. I've shown you how to hang on, someone just come up saying they couldn't hear the beginning of the wood in the shelf made. I actually realized halfway through and repeated myself. So if you skip the first 4 or 5 minutes, you'll get it all there. So don't worry. I went back. Don't worry. I showed you how to use the spirit level, or how to ignore the spirit level and use your phone if you don't have a spirit level, and also how to ignore the spirit level if the wall's slightly out. And I can guarantee so many times I do carpentry and I'll do 2 alcoves, and like the ceiling will slope by about 2-3 centimeters. Rather than me having just my doors flat spirit perfect, I'll angle the doors slightly so they mirror the roof, the ceiling. Because nothing worse than laying in bed and looking up and thinking something's not right. So it's all those considerations and it's all about the eye and how it looks right for the eye. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you've learned a lot on there. And I just wanted to, obviously, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I talked about the drill course, the drill academy, because there's so many different things to learn with the drill. And I know that some of you here will be watching this going, well, that's fine. I've learned a lot with that, and that's great. I can go away and do that. But some of you won't be comfortable with the drill. You're not sure about you know, how to detect what kind of walls you've got, whether you've got stud partition walls. You're not sure whether you know where the electrics are. You're worried about drilling into electrics and water. And also, you don't even know what kind of drill you've got. And if you've got a drill, how to use it, the best functions. So I'm just going to quickly tell you about this drill course, because I know a lot of you have been asking about it. So if you want more confidence with the drill, I created a 3-part online drill course, and part 1 is, like I say, which drill to buy and how to use it. So I recommend, I'll tell you this now, I recommend getting this one. Bosch is a combination drill. I'm not sponsored by them. I actually tried to get a deal with Bosch, but they don't do deals. And the best deal I could get was if you bought it in Europe. But by the time you paid for postage, it worked out the same as buying it in the UK because of EU regulations. Anyway, so I talk about the combination drill, and then I talk about all the different functions so that it can be suitable for what you need it for. Okay, so, and how to use it. So, and I guarantee by the end of that, I think it's a 30-minute module, you'll be really confident with this. Hold it like it's Bond. I've done courses where I've taught groups of people, you know, at the Idle Home Show, or I've taught them in a group of 20 at the WI, and people are petrified of holding the drill. And then as soon as I've taught them everything that I'd teach you in that part 1, they feel so confident and they feel brilliant about it, and you can't get it off them. So the first part will be all about the drill. The second part will be all about how not to drill into electrics and water. And I know that that's a big fear, and there's a load of fail-safe ways to make sure that when you're drilling, you're not going to hit anything. And I do it every day with my carpentry, and I'm private carpentry. I'm working on all interior design shows. There's the rules that I get put in place to make sure that that doesn't happen, and I'll tell you all about those. And part 3 is wall types. Like I said behind me, this one is solid brick, but some of you have lath and plaster, some of you have stud partition plasterboard walls, some of you have like solid concrete. So I'll show you how to work out what kind of walls you've got, and then I'll show you how to what fixings you use. Like I said here, this one, you know, is for masonry, but there's a load of fixings that you can use if you've got a stud wall and you want to put things on it. So it's a 3-part online drill course. And like I say, it's all in 2 hours. And the reason why it's all in 2 hours is because I've downloaded courses that are really long and you never finish them. So I wanted to make sure it was short, concise, very much like what you've just seen me do there, but a little bit more detail, obviously, about the drill and different things. But the way I teach is I cut out the waffle. I've sat through so many YouTube videos where literally they go on for days, this American guy in his shed, and then they'll go on for 40 minutes. And the bit he tells me that I really like is 5 minutes worth or 2 minutes worth. So what I've done, I've honed this course. So it's literally really simple, and you only get taught what you need. And I guarantee by the end of the 2 hours, you'll know everything you need to be able to put up a shelf, put up a picture rail, put up pictures, put up, you know, all of these things that you use with the drill. Yeah. There's also some bonus videos in there. I've got 3 extra videos that will be thrown in, which talk about how to turn off your gas, your electric and water. So knowing where your stopcock is, understanding how your fuse board works. So in an emergency, if you need to turn them off, you can. So they're in there as well. Support, the reason why this course isn't on all the time and available all the time is because I want to be able to support you. So for this first month, I'll be setting up a private Facebook group just for you guys. So whoever signs up for the drill course, you will have me to hand to answer any questions. So then you can come on and talk about the drill you've got, or any problems you might have, or something you're not sure about in the course, you can ask on there. You also have lifetime access to the course. So once you've bought it, it's yours forever to watch, download, keep, do whatever you like with it. Even share it with your people in your house, your other half, if you want to share it with them. I don't mind. Okay, bonuses. Like I say, it's only open for 48 hours. So I'm only going to, because I can't manage it. It goes on. I'm filming. It all goes crazy. So I thought 48 hours. It finishes Wednesday evening about 10 o'clock. The first 10 people who sign up will get a private group Zoom lesson with me. So I can answer any more individual questions about the drill. And also, if you sign up within 24 hours, you'll receive my gallery wall tutorial. So I work on interior design shows, a lot of you know, and I've created this brilliant video where I show you all the top tips about how to hang gallery wall pictures and the rules that are involved and things to make your art sing. So if you sign up within the first 24 hours, I'll send you that video as well. So how much is the course? I was trying to work it out and how to charge for this. And if you think about paying for a trade, depending on where you live, a trade to come into your house varies anything from 350 quid to 150 quid, depending on what you need them to do. The hard thing is getting a trade to come and do any of these jobs in your house. I know for myself, I won't go to somebody's house just to put pictures up. I do wardrobes and do things. So it's hard to get somebody in. And also when I have taught this, like I say, I used to teach the WI and I used to teach different ladies and gents in our private 20-member class. We used to charge £150 for that. So how much is the online course? The online course is £89. So it's £89. It recommend retail at £129. So because you've watched me do this, you get a £40 discount by putting in the code online party. So if you put in online party, you will get that discount coming off there. And like I say, I set it at £89 because if you buy a drill, which is this one's around about £90, and you buy that, my course, for £89, it's still under the £200 mark, which is the average of getting a tradesperson in your house to come and do those DIY jobs, if you can get them to come and do it. So you're investing in a drill and you're investing in the knowledge to how to do it, all for the cost of what it would cost one tradesperson to come into your house. So there we are. The cart's open. I put the link in the comments. I'll just put it in on the I've put it on the Facebook. But don't forget, it's only open for 48 hours. You can save yourself that £40 by putting on the code online party. And I know I won't be running this for at least another 6 months because we're crazy busy doing all the filming. And like I say, I want to be available for you for that month to help you and help you succeed with your drill. So if you have any questions, ask me them now. So you don't forget, it's 3 parts: which drill to buy and how to use it, how to avoid electrics and water, wall types and fixings, and also you get the bonus videos of turning off your water, your electrics and your gas in an emergency. I'm just going to put this link in the description, so hopefully you can get it. Just bear with me one moment and I'll come and answer any questions you have. So if you have any questions, let me know. I put the clickable link because I'm going through BeLive. Sometimes it's tricky and I can't see names on here, so I can just see comments. So how to drill in a bathroom tile, we've done that. Do you hammer in a punch to start? We've done that one. Any top tips for drilling in brick wall if they're not that strong? Okay, so what's not strong? Can you answer me that question? Because bricks are generally quite strong. So is the wall crumbling? Let me know. Oh, Lorraine, thank you. She did the course and she can recommend it. Yes, Lorraine was an amazing student and she was selling her house and she wanted to do it all up and before she left and get pictures, and I hope it sold. Hope it went well. Getting to grips with the angle grinder now, transferable skills. Good luck with the angle grinder. Yeah, they're full on our angle grinders. You was confused, but you're not now. That's fab to know. If the person is not strong to drill in the brick, so if you're not strong, of course, on the course I'll be showing you some of the techniques, because you don't want to be in a tricky position holding the drill. You always want to have your body behind it. And that's what I'll be showing you there's so many little top tips within it that make you improve the contact between you, the drill bit, and what you're drilling into. So yeah, I'll be showing you all of that as well. And that all comes under part 1, which drill to buy and how to use it. Okay. Do you keep your drill straight when drilling? Yes. Yeah, you need to do that. And again, that goes back to positioning. So I'll be showing you how to position yourself so that you can make sure it doesn't go off at an angle. And that top tip I showed you before about when things go off on an angle and you kind of go, oh, it's all gone wrong. There's ways of getting out of it. I'll be showing you some top tips so that doesn't happen. But if it does, remember the faithful cocktail stick thing. Okay, really hard walls, black dust comes out of it. Drill comes out. What's the best to do or to use? Okay, you've probably got solid concrete walls. So then you probably need an SDS drill. And we talk all about those on the course as well. Oh, Lorraine's put off the move until next spring. Okay, Lorraine, that gives you plenty of time to practice your drilling. And she's got a garage that's got brick walls, so she's been practicing there, I hope. Okay, well, I'm going to get off now, but if you have any questions for me and you want any more information, let me know. If you signed up for this, I'll be sending you this copy of this video. If you haven't signed up, you can still sign up on the link in my bio, and then I can send you all the information so you've got this video, because it won't stay on DIY Doers for too long, so you can always refer back to it. Again, I'm sorry about the beginning. I'm sorry I forgot to unmute. And I'm going to be totally honest, the reason why I'm muted is sometimes when the little clock goes at the beginning, if you don't mute yourself, you can hear me talking even though you can't see me. So I made sure that I mute. I just forgot to unmute it, but thank you for letting me know. If you have any questions, just contact me on thetvcarpenter.com, and I look forward to you being in the drill course, and hopefully I can help you on there. So thank you very much for watching me, Wayne Perry, the TV Carpenter.